defense, will bat 5th. Ryland Dunn back in the lineup as a designated hitter. He'll bat 6th. Jack Munson, he's back in the lineup as the right fielder today. He'll bat 7th in place of Aiden Dunn. Lincoln Ure, the starting pitcher today. We'll get to that in a second. He will bat 8th in the lineup, replacing Cannon Conneral, who will not be hitting today. And Drew Watcott will round out the order in 9th spot. For Brock Whitney Sentinels, basically the same lineup with no changes. Stockton Folks at third base. He'll bat leadoff. Center fielder Jackson Reiser second. Remington Edwards, the right fielder, in third. Austin Ellis, catcher, batting cleanup. Luke Nelson batting 5th. Cooper Goff will be the DH. He had the 2-run, 2-out double that really sparked him to the win. Ethan Iacono today, the starting pitcher. Juan Gonzalez, the second baseman, 8th. And Leo Bachoco at shortstop, batting 9th. And Grayson Riding, by the way, defensively will be playing in left field. He, of course, got the win yesterday in relief of opener Dylan Singleton. And Ty, we were just touching on it earlier before coming on the air. Ethan Iacono, he had 70-plus pitches in just 3-plus innings on Monday against Fremont. You kind of wonder on that many days of rest after throwing that many pitches as a high school player how fatigue is going to play a role in his play today.
I wonder, too, because, well, obviously a one-day break, you would think that could be at least a little bit of enough, but per Utah rule, I mean, he wheeled and dealed the last time, at least whenever he was up on the mound, so could be a similar situation, maybe not. We guess that's for us to find out. Of course, we hope him the best, especially with that situation and that pitch count, but yeah, let's hope that was enough rest for him as he faces a difficult Corner Canyon lineup.
Who exploded for 10 runs against the Fremont Silverwolves on Tuesday in the second round, who also exploded for 8 runs against the Davis Darts on Monday in the opening round. But all of that doesn't matter now. One game to get to the finals against Lehigh tomorrow night. Winner take all. First pitch is on the way, and it is outside ball 1. And that is the last bit of absolute knowledge we're going to know for a while here in this winner take all game. 1-0 pitch is fouled right back to the screen. Strike 1. If you hear any noise, by the way, coming from the background, it's actually coming across the way from Gale Miller Field right behind us. The 5A Softball Championship Series is going on. You can catch that on KSLSports.com streaming now. Courtesy of Bear River Live as Iacono misses up high again. 2 balls and a strike.
And, I mean, you talk about a perfect day for baseball, Alex. I know the viewers can't smell it at home. This is the first time I'm smelling barbecue in the air. This is...
You're right, actually. I can actually smell it a little bit in the air. Whether the players can smell it as well. Iacono misses up high. 3 balls and a strike to the leadoff man, Garrett Downing. Just past 4:30 p.m. local time here at Larry Miller Field in Provo. This is the only game today here on air, as Lehigh advanced to the finals last night with a dramatic come-from-behind win against the Riverton Silverwolves, as that one is a dart right in there at the knees for a strike.
Well, already a full count deal. We'll see how this goes, especially with Iacono. Man, this is quite the pitcher versus batter matchup, too.
3-2 pitch. Hide away, ball 4. So a leadoff walk drawn by Garrett Downing, and the first batter of the game reaches base safely for Corner Canyon, and here comes Ryder Florence. And Ty, we talked about how good the shortstops have been in this tournament, defensively and offensively. Ryder Florence has been another one of them.
And they're definitely playing the captain role as they should. The offense-to-defense transition has really been just a treat to watch this tournament.
That first pitch high and away to Florence. He's going up against one of the better shortstops in Region 2 and, in fact, in the state today, in Leo Bachoco, who himself has had a couple of dandies defensively. As a check throw to first, gets away from the first baseman, Nelson, and Downing is going to track his way all the way down to second base. So a runner in scoring position already for Corner Canyon here early, as it was yesterday against Mountain Ridge in that original game in the semifinals. Charged officially as an error on Ethan Iacono. So Ryder Florence, an early chance here with a runner in scoring position and nobody out. Look back at second, and the pitch is a ground ball up the middle and past the diving Bachoco. That's a base hit. Downing will come home to score ahead of the throw. 1-0 Corner Canyon, just as it was yesterday afternoon. And up steps the second baseman, Cash Conquer now. Corner Canyon, remember, scored in their first 3 batters yesterday as well, but in fact it was a triple by Ryder Florence that got it started, and then Nathan Horstman brought him home on a sac fly. Different story here today, though. Conquer lays a bunt down that will trickle foul. Strike 1.
Well, that was a good laid bunt there, too, but an even better single there by Ryder Florence right up the gun. Almost into the Y logo and gets an early run. Still no outs here for Corner Canyon, top of the lineup.
And past one of the better shortstops that we were just singing the praises of, Leo Bachoco out there at short. Conquer once again showing bunt on an 0-1 count. Third baseman creeps in and the pitch is pulled back. And it's a ball up high around the eyes there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Those pitches are really difficult if you're a batter to lay off of for the bunts. You want those high and away, but good mental awareness by Cash Conquer to bring it back. So it looks like he's going to go for the bunt again.
Check throw back to first, and once again it gets by. Florence is going to go down to second. He'll slide in without a throw. The second consecutive check throw error on Ethan Iacono, and once again, runner in scoring position. And now here comes Bachoco, the shortstop, and now we're going to have a staff meeting out here at the mound. As it looks like Ethan Iacono, after 3 days of rest, Ty, is feeling a little bit of nerves here in this winner-take-all game.
Yeah, that's 2 pickoff attempts that I think you want to get back. We were talking about that too, Alex, the fatigue playing a factor. As you mentioned, his pitch count was in the low 90s in his previous game and that he started, but still, those are 2, I would call them errors against Iacono that you would theoretically want to get back, because now you have another runner in scoring position and no outs.
This one is chopped to third. Back toward the hole, but Choco's not going to have a play. And now all of a sudden, runners on first and second, still nobody out, and some serious trouble here for the starter, Ethan Iacono, as now the dangerous Nathan Horstman comes up to the plate.
Good job by Ryder Florence, too, to not shift all the way to third on that play.
But, Ty, you talk about a well-scripted start. I mean, you couldn't script an any better start than this for Corner Canyon. Here's the chance of Horsey, as that one is fouled right into the gut again of Austin Ellis. That one looked like it caught him on the inner part of the thigh there. 1 strike. 1-0 if you're just joining us on the RBI single by Ryder Florence, scoring Garrett Downing from second base. And Corner Canyon has some serious traffic here going against Ethan Iacono, who, by the way, as Ty Wilkinson pointed out, threw pitch count in the low 90s just 3 days ago. This one catches the inner half of the plate. Strike 2 now. Can Iacono get an out? He needs one right here and try to limit the damage as much as possible. 0-2 pitch. That one's in the dirt. Good waste there. Ball 1. 1 run, 2 hits, and 2 errors, both charged to Ethan Iacono on wide check throws at first base. 1-2 pitch. Goodbye. And that's a biggie for Ethan Iacono. First strikeout of the day. So that'll bring up the first baseman, Andrew Nice, now, as runners remain on first and second. 1-0 Corner Canyon early here in this first inning. Just underway here on this winner-take-all Thursday afternoon here in Provo. First pitch, good, crisp fastball there for a strike on the bottom half of the plate.
Let's hope he finds his rhythm, Iacono, there on the mound. Once again, the damage is still done, but it's very limited, at least as far as this inning is concerned thus far.
Bachoco shading the runner Florence down there as this is golfed in the left field line, and foul as that's heading toward the Mountain Ridge bullpen. And we'll bounce into it. 2 strikes the count now on the first baseman, Andrew Nice. Ryland Dunn, 6th man of the order, stands on deck. He who had the 2-run home run against Fremont on Tuesday in the second round. 0-2 pitch. Just missed the outer plate right there as Ellis had to bring that back in a couple of inches.
Iacono's seen this pitch count before, the 1-2 on his previous strikeout that he just got against Nathan Horseman. He went off speed. Will he go the same way?
Here he comes. That one just misses low as he tried to get Nice to chase that low fastball there, and the count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes on Andrew Nice, the first baseman. Again, Ryland Dunn stands on deck, the designated hitter. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to first, and it gets through. They're going to bring the runner Florence home. Throw comes to the plate. It is late. 2-0 Corner Canyon. And we're going to have an early visit from Brock Whitney out to the mound. They'll officially score that as a base hit and not an error. Well, Ty, we just talked about the nerves being a factor here in this winner-take-all game. Clearly, Corner Canyon showing no fear here early on.
Not at all. They're coming out swinging too, Alex. We saw Garrett Downing. He was being patient on that 3-2 count. That's pretty much what started all. He got that walk, followed by an RBI single off of that pickoff attempt, which was thrown pretty much off the other side. And he got the single, and he got the base knock. Then Cash Concord comes away. He gets a single, so now it's first and second. And then as we just saw, that RBI single by Andrew Nice, and now the runners are at the corners. So damage has definitely so far been done. And you wonder if Corner Canyon is still going to come through in this bottom part of the lineup.
This is the 6th man already we're seeing here in the top half of the first inning, and Ryland Dunn, the designated hitter. He who had a 2-run home run on Tuesday in the second round against Fremont. Runners at the corners, still only 1 out. First pitch on the way, Iacono misses up high, ball 1. 2 runs already home on 3 hits and 2 errors in this inning, both charged to Ethan Iacono on wide check throws to first. As the Sentinels are just hoping to get out of here without any further damage. 1-0 pitch. That one misses high and inside. 2-0.
Well, Corner Canyon, like American Fork, known for their early offense. We saw that game earlier in the week. It was Corner Canyon in the second inning, Alex. They faced, what is it, 12 batters, 11?
It was, yes, you were right. It was 11 batters that came to the plate against Fremont on Tuesday.
Yeah, they're definitely known for their early offense strike. Fortunately, if you're Mountain Ridge, though, you're known for your late offensive strike, as we've seen in the 5th inning, and once again, against Fremont.
That was when they put up 8 runs and 12 batters in the bottom of the 5th inning and ended up ending that game by mercy rule. 2-1 pitch. Good. Crisp fastball there, strike 2. Iacono already has a strikeout to his name. He also has a walk, but he's given up 2 runs on 3 hits. And he's been charged with 2 errors. Both on wide check throws. Can he get another one here? 2-2 pitch. High in the air to left. That's going to be big-time trouble down by the fence. 1 run is in. Here comes the second. They'll put on the stop sign. An RBI double for Ryland Dunn. It's 3-0 Corner Canyon. And we have movement towards the bullpen. First pitch on the way to Jack Munson is in at the knees for a strike. You could not have scripted a better start for the Corner Canyon Chargers in this winner-take-all game. Infield creeps in now. 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. The winner faces Lehigh starting tomorrow in the 6A championship. A best-of-3 series. 0-2 pitch. This one is hit in the air left field. That's another base hit. That's off the glove of the left fielder. 2 runs will come in to score. It's 5-0 Corner Canyon.
Playing the 7th, Lincoln Yor.
Lincoln Yor now. First pitch on the way. That's a strike. Well, Mountain Ridge put up 5 runs at the top of the first against Davis on Tuesday in their elimination game. And then Davis subsequently put up 3 more runs in their bottom half of the first inning. This is an entirely different animal Mountain Ridge is facing. Again, Corner Canyon has not won against Mountain Ridge all season. Look back at second by Iacono. 0-2 pitch. High night side. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, it's the heart of the lineup, Alex. Andrew Nice, RBI. Rylan Dunn, RBI. Jack Munson, 2 RBIs. Straight. That's in a row.
1-2. Down and in. Five runs, 5 hits, 2 errors in this top half of the first. 2-2 pitch. Liner. Over into center field. And the merry-go-round just continues. Drew Walcott now, and the bottom of the lineup has made it through the entire order now. Remember, Corner Canyon sent 12 batters to the plate against, Mountain Ridge sent 12 to the plate against Fremont yesterday, and then Corner Canyon sent 11 against Fremont on Tuesday in the second inning. And unfortunately, they might not be done yet. Walcott goes through on that one.
Running for 15, Aiden Dunn.
Aiden Dunn, a pinch runner now, goes out at first base. And now Lincoln Yor is trotting over to the bullpen. He's the starting pitcher. He's got to make sure he just stays warm at this point. I mean, Ty, this is the 3rd day in a row we've seen a team jump on a team like this early.
It's a barrage right now.
Popped up the bunt. Falls in front of the plate. Ellis can't pick it up. And the Chargers have batted all the way through the order. That's the situation as you see Josh Dodger, cameraman, panning out. It's 5-0. 6 hits have already been recorded and 3 errors. And unfortunately, it still might not be done. Ball 1, and Brock Whitney's out. And that's it for Ethan Iacono. So Ethan Iacono lasts only a 1/3 of an inning, and he gets shelled. We already have a pitching change. We'll be back. Well, don't adjust your set, folks. I mean, this is a winner-take-all game, and here's the situation right now. The bases are loaded, and Corner Canyon's already pushed across 5 runs in this top of the first inning on 6 hits. They've been charged with 3 errors. Alexander Timup alongside Ty Wilkinson. Mountain Ridge throwing their bullpen already out there. Colby Clausen out there. I mean, of all the things we have seen throughout this week, the unexpected just keeps getting more unexpected.
It's very true. I told you during the pregame, Alex, that both teams really need to work in the count for their pitchers. And boy, was I right, because Corner Canyon late in the count, they've had a couple full count pitches and deals to them, as well as 2-2 counts, but they just find their pitch. I mean, once again, Ryland Dunn, that bases clearing double, the only guy, at least in 6A, with a home run thus far in the tournament. And he comes up with a clutch opportunity with 2 strikes and 2 balls. Clears the bases, but just credit to this entire lineup. Ever since Nathan Horseman has struck out, firework. Andrew Nice, Ryan Dillon, Jack Munson, Lincoln Ewer, Drew Wycott, and we come all the way back to the top of the order now. And once again for Garrett Downing.
This will be the second time Downing has batted in this game. He walked to lead off the game, and he scored. So he's already 1 for 1 in just this inning. And this is the 10th batter Corner Canyon will send to the plate. They will have at least 10 in this inning. It'll be the second time in the last 3 days that Corner Canyon sent 10-plus batters to the plate in a single inning. Colby Clausen now tasked with getting Mountain Ridge just to the bottom of the first and out of this mess. 1-0 pitch, right there, strike 1. And that's a heck of a start.
And man, as a pitcher, how do you do this with 1 out? Score is already 5-0, and you're dealt with the bases loaded coming onto the mound.
Carefully. Very carefully, as this is grounded up the middle, and that's going to get into center. No one called the runners off. Here comes the second run. And it just continues. And Captain Austin Ellis, the catcher, has seen enough. I mean, that's about as fired up Ty as I've ever seen number 55 this entire tournament.
I'm speechless. What's going on right now, Alex?
7 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. The 11th man to bat, Cash Conquer's next. He'll be the 12th. Florence takes a strike.
And a single is all it takes to make this a 9-0 game.
Oh, 1. Foul right back to the screen. Look out, Cash. Right over his noggin over there at first. Which is really unfortunate because all of the Corner Canyon hitters have been in an 0-2 count, but they've somehow found their way out of it. Here's the 0-2. This one's down to the dirt. Good waste pitch there from Colby Clausen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. One-two pitch. Drop third strike. Throw it on to first. And finally, that's the second out. Took almost 18 minutes to get the second out. As Cash Conquer now steps up to the plate. He's the 12th batter of this inning for Corner Canyon. That ties the most batters in an inning we've seen this entire tournament. Mountain Ridge just desperately needs to get out of this inning. And they need to do so in a hurry. Just to give themselves a chance to breathe.
Yeah, that defense has been out there for a while.
Yeah, they've been out there for almost half an hour in the hot sun as Clausen bounces that one up to the turf. That 1-1 pitch is down low, 2-1. You have to think, though, if Mountain Ridge can scratch across a run or two in the bottom half of the first, it'll give them a lot more confidence after they've just been shelled here in this first inning. That one is down low, the dirt again, as Ellis had to block it, and the count goes to 3-1, and now Clausen's in danger of loading the bags again. Three-one. Fly ball, center field. Riser. Over.
And the Chargers scored 7 runs on 7 hits with 4 errors, stranded 2 runners. In the 1, it's the Chargers 7, the Sentinels 0. Ladies and gentlemen,
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
In a tournament that has seen the unexpected, we've just seen the nearly improbable. A 26-minute first inning for Corner Canyon. They sent 12 batters to the plate. They scored 7 times with 7 hits. Mountain Ridge was charged with 3 errors in the inning unofficially. Alexander Timolip, Ty Wilkinson coming to you live here from the Cy and Betty Kimball broadcast booth here at Larry Miller Field. Ty, it's now or never for Mountain Ridge very early in this game. What do you do?
You need to come out swinging. More than anything, points is what it's going to come down to. You're down 7, and this is your first time even batting or even getting a lick at a pitch. Like, seriously, you're coming down from 7-0. You got to get those bats. Got to get them going, and you got to pray and hope that Corner Canyon's defense doesn't hold out just the same way you did with 4 errors in one inning. That's, I mean, I'm kind of speechless.
Mountain Ridge has been in this position before, though. They gave up 3 runs in the first inning against the Fremont Silverwolves on Monday in their opening round game. But this is a completely different animal they're facing. And reminder, these two Region 2 teams met earlier this season in a 3-game series. Mountain Ridge won all 3 games. They scored 10 runs in 2 of those 3 games. But Corner Canyon has lost all 4 meetings with Mountain Ridge prior to this game. And if we know anything, though, folks, there is still a long way to go. Lincoln Yor, first pitch of the afternoon's on the inner half for a strike. Brock Whitney's team facing a molehill to climb here early. That one misses just above the letters there. 1-1. It'll be Stockton Folks, Jackson Reiser, and then Remington Edwards, 1, 2, 3 to lead off the bottom of the first here for the Sentinels as they try to scratch across at least 1 or 2 runs. Against Lincoln York. Good off-speed pitch in there at the knees for a strike.
Stockton Folks really has to work the count here, Alex. As I mentioned, once you get deep into your understanding of the pitchers, you can kind of understand what the dealing is with Lincoln York.
That one just missed a little bit outside. Maybe caught a little too much of the grass there, 2-2.
You see, that's what I said. You got to wait for your pitch, too. You're down low in the count. Best thing you want is a comebacker. The count is even.
2-2 pitch. Fly ball center field. Downing is there. Makes the catch. And there's one gone. Winner of this game faces the Lehigh Pioneers starting tomorrow afternoon. We know Maple Mountain and Brighton will be there. Ty and I will be there to call all of the 5 and 6A championship series. Corner Canyon currently in the driver's seat, up 7-0, but still a long ways to go here in the bottom of the very first inning. This one is lined once again to center field. Downing chasing back. Eyes in the sun. Has to shade it a little bit, but makes the catch, 2 out.
Well, there you go, 2 for 2 for the center fielder.
So here comes Remington Edwards now to the plate. First pitch misses on the inner half. Strike 1. Or ball 1, rather. Excuse me. Oh, no pitch. That one is a good one right down the middle. Strike 2. You are trying to set down the Sentinels in order here in this first inning. 1 strike away from doing so. 1-2 payoff. That one had to be snatched back a couple of inches off the black there, 2-2.
So now here's another 2-2 opportunity. We saw Stockton Folks. He had this opportunity early on, but I think the pressure, I guess, is a little bit more mounted now for Remington Edwards facing 2 outs.
2-2 pitch. Lined into left center field. That's going to be a base hit. Remington Edwards reaches with a 2-out single. And at least the Mountain Ridge Sentinels get a little bit of traction against Ure here in the bottom of the first. So now here comes the catcher, Austin Ellis, the captain, who let it be known to his teammates he needs more effort out of them. He hits one in the air to left field. And this one is going to fall into the glove of the left fielder, Walcott, who has a word at the Mountain Ridge bullpen as that concludes matters in the first inning. The Mountain Ridge Sentinels have won all 4 meetings against Corner Canyon this season, but they're on the ropes now in this winner-take-all game as we go to the second.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Welcome back to Larry H. Miller Field on the campus of BYU. Alexander Timlip and Ty Wilkinson just trying to process what's been going on here. In the very first inning, 7 runs on 7 hits for Corner Canyon, just 3 errors charged to Mountain Ridge in that first inning. Ty, all of us are looking at each other here in the booth, Josh Dodge and Wilson Gustafson, who was kind enough to join us up here in the box included. I don't think we could have imagined anything like this.
I definitely couldn't. You mentioned Charge 2 Mountain Ridge. That is quite literally what is happening. The Corner Canyon Chargers come with electricity. I would even consider that an understatement off of the bats. Ever since that strikeout that was dealt to Nathan Horseman, it just felt like something was different within the lineup. Andrew Nice, Ryland Dunn, Jack Monson, Lincoln Ewer, Drew Watcott, and then Garrett Downing. He finished it off with a 2 RBI double in the first inning. And, it's just going to be a little bit of a different scenario now. And just got to be not an idea.
Yeah, it's not that it's not out of the realm of the possibility that Corner Canyon could end up adding to this lead. First pitch on the way. That's a strike at the knees there from Colby Clausen. One strike to count on Colby Clausen. One strike to count on Nathan Horseman, the third baseman. 0-1 pitch. Liner into right, base hit. And the Corner Canyon Chargers are making it known they don't want any other funny business. They don't want any more to do with the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. They want to send them home here and now. First pitch on the way. Had to be snatched down a few inches there to Andrew Nice as Clausen's hat comes flying off.
And Alex, that means the entire Corner Canyon lineup with Nathan Horseman's single has a hit. And it's the second inning.
That one gets away from Ellis. And now the runner advances to second. Two and 0 the count now. Ryland Dunn stands on deck. That one is outside. 3-0.
I say hit. I guess it's a base on ball for Drew Watcott for his bunt, correct?
I would think so. Not really sure how they're going to score that, but I assume we'll get the official ruling a little bit later on. Here's the 3-0 pitch coming from Clausen. Taking all the way, strike one. Already a base hit in this inning, a pass ball allowing the runner to get into scoring position, and Corner Canyon threatening to inflict even more pain. 3-1 pitch. Tipped off the catcher. Foul. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody out here in the top half of the second inning. Corner Canyon already in the driver's seat, up 7-0. 3-2 pitch. Got him. First strikeout of the day for Colby Clausen, and now here comes the DH, Ryland Dunn, who had a 2-run home run on Tuesday against Fremont.
Great job against Colby Clausen to come back from 3-0. And you got Andrew Nice staring at that last pitch. And you would think that's the momentum you need if you're Mountain Ridge.
Clausen steps off the mound. Runner back in at second. First pitch. Swing and a miss. Runner in scoring position at second. And Nathan Horstman, 1 out. Oh, 1 pitch. Foul tip right into the glove, strike 2. Couple of fastballs just blown right by Ryland Dunn.
I'm curious to see if he's going to use the aggressive approach here. I mentioned wait for your pitch, but down 0-2 early.
Payoff on the way. Good waste there on the off-speeder. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's a good proper layoff.
One-two pitch. Goodbye. Back-to-back strikeouts. So now here comes Jack Munson up to the plate.
At plate number 14, Jack Munson.
As the Sentinels try to work around that leadoff single by Nathan Horstman. First pitch on the way, right there at the knees on the outside half for a strike. Oh, 1 pitch. Foul. 2 strikes. 1 out away now from getting out of this inning. That foul ball rolls off the wall into left field.
1 strike away for Mountain Ridge to also get out of this inning.
Oh, 2 pitch. And we'll do it again. Ball 1 high.
Well, if this is anything like Ryland Dunn's previous at-bat, it was a 1-2 count offering. He got Dunn swinging. If you're Mountain Ridge, that could be a good sign.
Here's the 1-2. Got him. And maybe that's the spark that Mountain Ridge needs. Chargers get a base hit, but they're not able to do anything with it, and now Mountain Ridge needs to get to work. Down 7 early in this winner-take-all game. Beautiful shot of the Wasatch front going down towards Spanish Fork and Payson. 7-0 our scores. We remind you that tomorrow the UHSAA baseball tournament reaches its climax as Maple Mountain and Brighton and Lehigh in the winner of this game between Corner Canyon and Mountain Ridge face off for the right to call themselves champions. Game 1 of the 5A and 6A championship series tomorrow starting at 4 o'clock p.m. on your home for all UHSAA spring sports championships. KSL Sports Rewind. Alexander Timlip and Ty Wilkinson here at the Betty and Cy Kimball broadcast booth at Larry H. Miller Field on the campus of BYU. And Ty, maybe that striking out the side was the momentum that Mountain Ridge needed to get them going, because they need to do it, and they need to do it in a hurry.
You would hope so. I mean, at this point, Alex, 3 straight strikeouts, too. One looking and the other one swinging.
And there's a base hit into right. Nelson, aggressive turn at first. He will stop. Leadoff single. And maybe, just maybe, Mountain Ridge perhaps could be waking up a little bit here, even though it is a 7-0 game.
Luke Nelson wasn't given an opportunity to swing in the first inning. He gets his first pitch that he looks at, and he takes it into right center field. And as you mentioned, this could very well be the spark Mountain Ridge has been looking for.
That one is outside from Lincoln Yor to the D.H. Cooper golf ball 1. Corner Canyon scored 7 runs on 7 hits with 12 batters in that top half of the first inning. That pitch is fouled right back next to the screen. By the way, we want to remind you, if the ball hits the tarp at Larry Miller Field or the roof at UCCU Ballpark tomorrow and Saturday, will be a cue for our Any Hour Services Random Roof Ringer, where we bring you random facts about the game of baseball that Ty has vigorously dug up in his many hours of work. I say work with a chip on my shoulder.
I'd call it work.
Some of us would. 2-1 pitch. Inside. And the count goes to 3 balls and a strike now on the D.H. Cooper Goff.
This is the count you're looking for. As I mentioned, you got to wait for your pitch. You'll get really deep in the count, too. And once you get the one you like, you got to take it. Luke Nelson obviously took a different approach first pitch he saw.
Lincoln, you're ready. Runner on first, and the 3-1 on the way. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, and the count goes full on Cooper Goff. You have to say that was his pitch right there. Now, this is where the tension ratchets up. Ball 4. Quick staff meeting issued at the mound. And here comes Ethan Iacono, who moves back into left field now for Grayson Riding, who started the game in left. And Ty, how poetic would it be if Iacono got shelled in the first inning, then comes right back and gets an RBI here in the bottom of the second?
You could only wonder. That's, I guess, the best case scenario for him, and I bet he would dream of that scenario right now.
He would dream of a home run too, wouldn't he? It'd be a good time for a 3-run homer to left field right about now towards that Big 12 logo.
Well, we haven't seen him since he's been taken out. You wonder if that aggression is kind of stirred in his mind.
We're about to see. First pitch. Well, that's a how do you do from Lincoln Yor, and Iacono has a look out to the mound at his opposing number. He didn't like that.
He didn't like it at all. Gave him a death stare after that one.
1-0 pitch. High fly ball into center field. Going back is Downing. Runner will tag and head for third. And will get there without a play. And that'll put runners at the corners now, as Iacono does his job moving the runner from second to third. As this brings up one, Gonzalez now.
Well, it's as good as a sacrifice right there, Alex. You wonder if Mountain Ridge might send Cooper Goff over to second to avoid that double play to end the inning, because you at least want to get some runs out of this opportunity.
This would be their shot right here, right now. First pitch. Ground ball, foul. Strike 1. Just a hit in this inning and no errors so far charged against Corner Canyon for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. Again, the winner of this game faces the Lehigh Pioneers tomorrow night starting at Utah Valley University. 0-1 pitch. That's a high ball on the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Leo Bachoco, the shortstop, stands on deck, followed by the leadoff man, Stockton Folks. 1-1 pitch. Up the middle. Base hit. That will score the run. RBI single. Juan Gonzalez. Mountain Ridge is on the board.
At plate number 8, Leo Pachoco.
Up steps Leo Pachoco now. Runner remains in scoring position with only one out. And just maybe you think this could be the spark Mountain Ridge needed. Strike at the knees called against the shortstop Leo Pachoco. Still only one out. And 2 runners on. One already home on 2 base hits here in this inning. Oh, 1. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes.
And Alex, I understand the difficulty it is to lay off a pitch, especially when you're in that aggressive mindset, coming off a 7-run lead that Corner Canyon has right now. But you got to find what you like.
0-2 pitch. Good waist pitch up there, up around the chest. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It's so difficult as a batter, especially with the score is the way it is. And one swing, you know, can perfectly change a ball game. But if you don't contend yourself, it'll cost you.
Here comes the pitch. High and outside. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes against Leo Pachoco, the shortstop. Stockton Folk stands on deck. Jackson risers after that. 7-1. Corner Canyon leads. Can Mountain Ridge continue to chip away at this deficit here in this inning with this chance? 2-2. Liner into left field. That's a base hit into the gap. That's going to be brought down. Runner will be sent home. The throw is cut off. 7-2.
Now plate number 4, Stockton Phelps.
Well, did I not say it, Alex? You got to wait for your pitch. Came back from 0-2. Then it was a 2-2 count. And boy, did he love to get a piece of that one, and he took it to center.
Credit Garrett Downing as well for getting his glove on that. Jumping up above his head. Because if that thing gets to the wall, Brock Whitney is likely sending another runner home. Bunt laid down by Stockton Folks, foul. Good idea, though, by the third baseman.
And still only one out here, Alex. There's still plenty of opportunities for Mountain Ridge to do damage for the top of the order.
7-2, Corner Canyon. One swing of the bat could very well change the outcome of this winner-take-all game. 0-1 pitch. High fly ball. Center field. Downing is there. Runner will tag and go to third. And the throw will be cut off at short as Gonzalez dives headfirst in. And there are once again runners at the corners with 2 out, and Corner Canyon's lead down to 5. Two runs on 3 hits, no errors. Mountain Ridge trying to find a way to get back in this game. That one just a little bit high off the letters. Ball 1.
It's a great eye. High heat.
Two runs, 4 hits, 3 errors on the ledger of Mountain Ridge thus far. This one is fouled. That's onto the roof. And so for the first time today, there's our chance at an Any Hour Services random roof ringer. Coming up after this AB. 1-1 the count. Runners at the corners, 2 out. The pitch. That one is tipped foul off the catcher as Cotterall caught a piece of that off his mask. The inning started with Luke Nelson getting a single. This is the 7th man to bat in the order in this inning for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. 2 runs have already scored on 3 base hits. Another one potentially at third. 1-2 pitch. Got him! The damage is done. 2 runs come across the score on 3 base hits. Mountain Ridge has a pulse. Now they need to get their defense in order. We'll be back.
Standings are available on MaxPreps.com.
Welcome back to the Rewind Sports Network and our coverage of the UHSAA baseball tournament. This winner-take-all game, Corner Canyon leads 7-2 as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. Alexander Timlip and Ty Wilkinson. Coverage presented by Heidemann and Associates. Just like how coaches need to assemble a winning team to get the job done on the diamond, Heidemann and Associates is committed to doing the same for you by assembling a winning team that only cares about you, the client. Call them today at 801-754-4240. Contact them online at utah.law for your free consultation, courtesy of the Rewind Sports Network. Ty, Mountain Ridge only got 2 runs in that inning, but in the long run, those are 2 big runs because they were finally able to get some traffic against Lincoln Yor.
It's the short game, as we mentioned, Alex. You can subtly creep up upon this Corner Canyon team that we've seen already done as much damage as they did in that first inning. But what's the good news is you contain them to 0 runs in the second. Hopefully you can do that here in the third. That's the momentum swing you're looking for. 3 hits, 2 runs, but unfortunately those 2 left on base charged to after the strikeout might cost you a little bit from Jackson Reiser's last at-bat.
First pitch now coming to the leadoff man in the order, Lincoln Yor, the pitcher, as he takes strike 1 on the inner half. 8-9-1 in the order to start this top half of the 3rd here at Miller Field. 1 pitch down in the carpet, picked up off the rug. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch. Good changeup, strike 2. The noise you're hearing, by the way, coming from behind us, if you can pick it up on our microphones, is coming from behind the other side at Gale Miller Field, where the 5A Softball Championship Series is currently underway. 1-2 pitch, line foul, heads up, everybody over there on right. One-two pitch. Liner to second, base hit. Gonzalez dove but couldn't get it. And a leadoff single here for the pitcher Lincoln Yor as Aiden Dunn will come take his place at first base. And the ball hit the roof on that last at-bat, so of the second inning. So, Ty, what you got for the Any Hour Services random roof ringer here?
So the first ever radio broadcast of a Major League Baseball game. Can you guess the date that it occurred, Alex? Oh, how about this? Guess the year that occurred. I mean, I obviously know we're doing a broadcast right now. I figure I throw in a broadcast baseball question first.
I would have to say, you know, I know the shot heard around the world for Ted Williams was broadcast on the radio, but I think it was back, what was it, 1956, I think the first broadcast was?
It was not. It was 1921.
Really? 1921?
Yeah.
That's quite a while back.
KDKA in Pittsburgh.
No, that makes sense. The Pirates, right?
The Pirates, it was 8-5 score against the Philadelphia Phillies, longtime Philadelphia rivalry.
Yes, of course, the Battle of the Keystone State.
Correct, and they actually featured...
Buccos and Phillies.
Correct. They featured their first play-by-play announcer, 26-year-old Harold Arlen. And that
Well,
was
that
that was the first ever play-by-play, Alex.
Well, that makes sense because the play-by-play, or I guess the announcer of music and the spoken word in 1929 was 19 at the time.
Right.
So it makes sense. I mean, they had very limited resources back then, but that's interesting. KDKA in Pittsburgh, of all things, as this has popped up. And on cue, we have another one going over the tarp, and that actually might go over into Gale Miller Field. Hopefully,
where'd this one come from?
Hopefully everybody is okay over there because they didn't hit the roof. But that went over the tarp into Gale Miller Field. So hopefully everyone had their heads on a swivel back there. 0-2 pitch, tip foul. Reminder that the BYU baseball and softball fields are built back to back of each other. Larry Miller Field is in the front and Gale Miller Field is in the back. But the Cy and Betty Kimball broadcast booth houses facilities for both Larry and Gale Miller Field. This check throw is over to first and back in quickly is done. 0-2 the count, nobody out here in the top half of the third inning as Mountain Ridge trying to get back into this game after giving up a crooked number in the first inning. Runner goes, strikeout, throw, safe, just in ahead of the throw. It was a good throw, though, by the catcher, Austin Ellis. And now we're going to have an argument here for Brock Whitney, and I believe he's going to argue to home plate umpire Kyle Anderson that Ellis was interfered with on the throw. But Kyle Anderson, of course, the crew chief, not having it. But either way, there's one out as the runner advances to second base. This brings up Garrett Downing, who's already 1 for 2 today. Ryder Florence stands on deck. First pitch. That one is down in the dirt. Downing trying to get out of the way so Ellis could go pick it up. Almost actually kicked it to the backstop.
I was going to say Downing could have got away with the HPP there, but as you know, those four-seam fastballs right toward the foot, those can really hurt. So I guess I don't exactly blame him for trying to dodge out of the way of that one.
No movement right now in the Mountain Ridge bullpen, but there are people in there. Kind of tells you the situation of this game right now being 7-2 where it is. Here's the 1-0 pitch. That one bounces. I don't know if Ellis ever saw that. That was really odd. It looked like it just bounced up in front, and Ellis never saw where it was. It's kind of a rare moment where it crossed up the catcher. And then it allows the runner to advance to third. 2-0 pitch on the way. That's a strike.
That's a good redemption pitch right there. Coming down from 2-0. Especially on that pass ball, which advanced Lincoln Ewer over to third.
Ryland Dunn, the pinch hitter, stands at third. Pinch runner, by the way, stands at third. 2-1 pitch. Good off speeder right there at the knees on the corner. Strike two. And Clausen get another strikeout and help the cause. Runners on third, one out, top half of the third in a 7-2 game. Here it is. And that one looked like it hit him. And Aiden Dunn, the pinch runner, thought it was a passed ball, but it's a HBP, so he was not able to come home. And now that moves runners on the corners now with one out, and here comes Ryder Florence.
Corner Canyon on the doorstep yet again of making some noise here. Still only one out. As you mentioned, runner on the corners. And a hit by a pitch also ruins your pitching momentum too, you would think.
First pitch on the way to Florence is away, ball one. Runners on the corners with only one out here in a 7-2 ball game. Corner Canyon put up 7 in the first inning. And meanwhile, Mountain Ridge was only able to scratch across 2, but it did create a little bit of a pulse, though, for the Sentinels. 1-0 pitch. That's foul. That one hits onto the roof, so that's another Any Hour Services random roof ringer coming up here in a little bit. Just past 5:30 local time here in Provo. This game started about an hour ago, and we are almost about halfway through this game. One pitch. Tip foul to the screen. 1-2 now. Again, Mountain Ridge has had Corner Canyon batters in 2-strike counts for virtually the entire first 3 innings defensively, but just not able to finish it, which has been the really unfortunate part of this whole thing. Clausen comes set, 2-2 pitch, and that's in the dirt. And the count goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, both teams are doing a really good job, Alex, of waiting for their pitches. As I mentioned, that's the key to the game. You get down late in the count, and you try to work the pitcher, in this case Florence, to his brink, because I think the pressure is more so on for the pitcher than the batter, especially when you get pretty late in the counts.
2-2 pitch. Liner into center. Base hit. 1 run will score. 8-2.
Out plate number 5, Cash Conquer.
So up steps Cash Conquer now to the plate. And any momentum Mountain Ridge has just gets stymied that quickly. Eight to 2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. First pitch to Conquer, misses Ian inside, ball 1. And it looks like home plate umpire Kyle Anderson has had enough of the chirping coming from the dugout by Corner Canyon. One-0 pitch. Strike 1. Winner faces Lehigh starting tomorrow in the 6A championship series. And it is looking increasingly likely that Corner Canyon's going to be in there. 1-1 pitch. Strike 2. Still 1 out. And runners on first and second. One-two pitch. Aloha. And just as it was, took almost 15 minutes to get the second out for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels, but this time they surrender only 1 run thus far. And Ty, if they could get out of this with only 1 run, I think that'd be an accomplishment in and of itself defensively.
I completely agree, too. An 8-2 ball game going into the bottom of the 3rd with the favor in Mountain Ridge being considered, I guess, the home field team when you get to bat the last.
This one is hit in the air to left on a line, and it is caught out there by the left fielder, Ethan Iacono. That ends the inning. 1 more run comes across to score for the Corner Canyon Chargers. We head now to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Corner Canyon Chargers lead 8-2 in this winner-take-all playoff game here at Larry Miller Field.
From commercial to recreational truck accessories, Mountain Land Truck Outfitters has got what you need. Flatbeds, spray and bed liners, lifts and leveling kits, wheels and tires. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters proudly uses a brand you know and trust. And with our experienced, knowledgeable, and friendly staff, your visit here will be informative and enjoyable. Stop into our convenient location in Provo at 265 South 100 West or call 801-225-4637 to get a quote for your fleet or individual truck. Mountain Land Truck Outfitters.
A look there at the Marriott Center here on the campus of BYU, just north of us here at Larry H. Miller Field, where the Pleasant Grove Vikings are finishing up their graduation ceremonies here at the Marriott Center. Alexander Timlip, Ty Wilkinson here at Larry H. Miller Field at the campus of BYU. Ty, what was a crazy stat you were telling me as we were going into the commercial break was Corner Canyon's up by 6 right now, but they've stranded 5 runners.
It's true. You had 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. And I mean, in and of that self, that's still incredible that Corner Canyon has managed to still score as many runs as they did, but still been able to strand runners, which I guess if you're Mountain Ridge, you can consider that a win for that defense to get the opportunities done.
But Ty, at this point, I mean, defensive wins aren't going to mean much unless they get some offense going here, especially in this inning alone. You would have to think anyway. 0-1 pitch right there on the corner. Good pitch there from Ewer, and he's rolling now. Austin Ellis, the catcher, stands on deck after Remington Edwards. Heart of the order here coming up. 0-2 pitch is grounded foul up the third baseline. Ball hit the roof, by the way, in the last half of that inning before we could get to our random roof ringer presented by Any Hour Services. So we'll get to that here in just a little bit after this AB. 0-2 pitch. Goodbye. Quickly one gone here in the third. Ty Wilkinson, take it away.
All right, so I asked you originally what the first ever radio broadcast was for a Major League Baseball game. Now let's go to television broadcast. Alex, what was the first television broadcast of a Major League Baseball game?
See, I think that's what I was thinking about. Wasn't the first television broadcast in the late 1950s or close to the early 1960s?
It was before that, I will say.
Okay, so it probably has to be like before the war, like probably like 1934 or something, when they started doing the talking movies or whatever they're called now.
You're very close. It's 1939.
Really?
Correct.
Okay, so that was close then by a couple of years.
August 26, 1939, the Cincinnati Reds played a doubleheader against the Brooklyn Dodgers at Ebbets Field.
Man, Ebbets Field, that's quite a name. That's quite a name for a stadium. Haven't heard that one in a long, long time. 1-1 pitch is jammed up in the air and caught by the pitcher Ewer. And 2 quickly gone here in the bottom of the third.
Now hitting number 1, Luke Nelson.
As Corner Canyon looking to put an end to the losing streak against their region rival, Mountain Ridge. First pitch just missed the black there. One-0 pitch. In the air to center. Downing. Inning over. Sentinels go down in order here in the third inning. And the Corner Canyon Chargers are rolling in this winner-take-all game. They lead 8-2 as we head to the top half of inning number 4.
Sentinels.
Welcome back to the
52.
Larry H. Miller Field here at BYU as we're getting a look at the beautiful field here. 58-degree day here at the complex. Southwest wind around 6 miles per hour, but it's the Corner Canyon Chargers, Ty Wilkinson, alongside me, Alexander Tumulip, who are blowing up a storm right now on their region rival, the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. And, you know, obviously we don't want to make excuses, but you kind of do have to figure the Sentinels, I mean, you have to give them credit. They're playing this is their third game they played the last 2 days. This is what we kind of talked about coming in. Would the fatigue be a factor coming in? You know, they're getting contact on the ball, but it's one of those days where the ball's just flying right at people.
Well, it feels like they're just running out of energy, Alex, and I think a big reason of that is those quick outings in the past few innings that they've played and the aggressiveness that's been shown by Corner Canyon that's been keeping that defense out on the field. And I know the weather you say is beautiful outside, but that heat on that turf makes it a whole lot of a different story, especially if you're Mountain Ridge. But I definitely think that fatigue is definitely playing a factor for Mountain Ridge.
So Andrew Nice now 5, 6, 7 here in the order coming up. First pitch on the way from Colby Clausen is outside, ball 1. 8 runs, 10 hits, no errors for Corner Canyon. 2 runs, 4 hits, unofficially 3 errors charged to Mountain Ridge. This one is grounded toward the hole. Picked up on a hop by the first baseman, Nelson. He'll go over, and then a collision over there at first base as it looked like Clausen or Andrew Nice was trying to cause something over there at first base, and now here comes Brock Whitney out of the dugout. And he's not happy with that.
Neither are the fans for both sides.
And Ty, this is what can happen in a winner-take-all game. Sometimes things like this can happen. You really do hope things like that don't get out of control here.
Well, you can only hope, too. A winner-take-all game means emotions are at the all-time high. And now it's showing.
And the coaches are all trying to keep the peace here with Jeff You're over at third base talking to the assistants from Mountain Ridge. And now we got barking going on to the dugouts. The first base coach is now barking at the dugout. The Mountain Ridge assistants are all on their feet. And this is getting bad. Now you really hope things don't get out of control now.
Well, now Mountain Ridge is fired up. Holy cow.
That one is in the dirt there. And Ryland Dunn, who has a word with Austin Ellis, the catcher.
It's a barking battle right now between the dugouts, Alex.
Competitive fire is flowing. So much for being an 8-2 game right now as Clausen throws a ball in outside and low. One pitch. That one just misses the black. 2-1. Jack Munson now stands on deck. 2-1 pitch. Strike 2.
Man, if you're Mountain Ridge, this is huge for back-to-back outs if you can get it. Get your defense off the field and try to go to work batting.
2-2 pitch. Tap foul toward the left side. The competitive fire is flowing. So much for being an 8-2 game here in the top of the fourth. 2-2 pitch. That one down to the dirt. Dunn wanted to swing at that, but boy, did a great job holding off. Three-two pitch. And fouled again. Just got enough of the knob of the bat on that one. Seventh pitch of the AB coming up here for the DH, Ryland Dunn, and what has been a fiery and testy top half of the fourth inning. Love to see the competitive juices flowing out there. 3-2, ball four. And so a one-out base runner here for the Corner Canyon Chargers, and up steps the right fielder, Jack Munson.
How about that walk by Ryland Dunn, by the way?
14, Jack Munson.
Coming back from a 2-2 count. Waited for his pitch. He fouled off a couple. And then he gets the go-ahead to first base for the leadoff.
First pitch on the way to Munson. Ground ball to short. Base hit past the diving shortstop Pachoco. Stop sign quickly thrown up by Jeff Yore out there at third. And just like that, runners on first and second again with only one out. The 11th hit in 3 1/3 innings allowed by the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. And here comes Brock Whitney once again out of the dugout. And I believe we are probably going to have another pitching change here. And we are going to have another one. Emotions for the bullpen. Colby Clausen relieved of his duties. After two full innings for Colby Clausen, he will be relieved, and we'll have a new pitcher on the mound. We'll be back after this word from Igloo. Well, that's the story of the game, at least here in this inning, as Brock Whitney trying to plead his case to first base umpire Ryan Hansen of the barking that's going on between the two benches. Love to see the competitive juices flowing, but at the same time, you want to make sure you channel that emotion. Alexander Timble alongside Ty Wilkinson here as we get a look at the new pitcher on the mound for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. As we come back over to the right-hand side, it's left-hand side rather, Tyler James now, who played second base in that first game yesterday against Fremont. In the first game of two that Mountain Ridge played yesterday. Now comes in relief here in the top half of the fourth inning. Actually, that's Karsten Funkhauser that's on the mound right now. Karsten Funkhauser, 31, not 21, that's on the mound. So this will be the second right-hander, or the third straight right-hander that the Sentinels will send out there today. And Ty, right now, if you're Mountain Ridge, you just want to get out of this inning and get to the bottom of the third, or bottom of the fourth.
It's true. I mentioned to you earlier that 2-2 count that Ryland Dunn had, which inevitably turned into a walk, would be a big 2 outs to get this Mountain Ridge team pretty much out of the defense contention and, you know, get the bats hopefully starting to going here soon. But an unfortunate single there by Jack Munson, which kind of just got out of the hands of Leo out there at shortstop. And so now just 1 out and a runner still in scoring position. They're still on the field.
First pitch from Funkhauser is in there for a strike. 1 out here in the top half of the fourth inning. Corner Canyon threatening to put 2 more runs, at least 1 more run on the board here in the fourth. We've only had 1 run rule game in this tournament. It was yesterday between Fremont and Mountain Ridge. Grounded to third. 5. 2-hopper. Not going to get 3. And meanwhile, the throw gets by. And that will allow the runner to move up 90 feet to third base. So 5U fielder's choice on the putout. As we're going to have pinch runners all over the place here. As meanwhile, Aiden Dunn goes out now to first base, and Jack Munson, who moves over to third. Now runners at the corners, you're 2 out.
At the plate, number 3.
As the 9-man in the order, Drew Watcott, comes up, and the shadows start to
Running number 15.
creep in on the walk-up lines here at Larry H. Miller Field. Walcott takes strike 1. Winner faces Lehigh. In the start of the 6A finals tomorrow night at UCCU Ballpark, across the way in Orem. Be preceded, of course, by Maple Mountain against Brighton, number 1 against number 2 tomorrow in the 5A finals. What a series that's going to be between those two teams as Walcott hits a liner that's directly at Pachoco. And that ends the inning, and the Mountain Ridge Sentinels come hopping out of the dugout.
Chargers scored no runs on 1 hit with an error, 2 stranded
They
runners.
don't allow any of the runs to score. Now they need to get some offense of their own going. 8-2, Corner Canyon leads in this winner-take-all playoff.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Well, not so busy now on the road, but it will be in a little bit as the graduations, one after the other, continue here at BYU. Alexander Tumap alongside my broadcast partner, Ty Wilkinson. We remind you that Rewind Sports Network coverage of the UHSAA Baseball Championship Series begins tomorrow night at 4 o'clock. What a slate we're going to have for you folks. Number 1, Maple Mountain. Number 1, Brighton, I should say, against number 2, Maple Mountain at 4 o'clock. And then the winner of this game takes on Lehigh, which is increasingly likely to be Corner Canyon. But again, still a long way to go. Not done yet.
Leading off the Sentinels, number 29.
Only
Cooper
in the bottom of the 4th inning as Cooper Goff now stands in. And Ty, if there was ever a time for Mountain Ridge to get going, they need to do it now.
This is a redemption inning. They went 1, 2, 3 in the last inning. They're 3, 4, 5 in the lineup. And you have to get those bats going to keep your defense off the field because you know they're tired.
Yeah, remember, Mountain Ridge, this is their 3rd game they played in the last 2 days. 3 games they played now, almost full games now they played in less than 24 hours. You got to think that the fatigue has got to be creeping into the back of the minds of these players, but they got to kind of keep the adrenaline flowing right now, which they are doing their best to. And you have to give them monster respect for doing that. 2-0 pitch. On the corner, strike 1. 6, 7, then 8 in the order. Coming up. Against Lincoln Muir. Pitch. Picked up off the rug there. 3 balls and a strike. Cooper Goff, who had the 2-run, 2-out double yesterday afternoon and that big win against Corner Canyon. Can he do it again here? 3-1. Strike 2 right at the knees. That time gets the call. And the count goes full.
That's a tough one to lay off, too. You got a hitter's count. And he throws it right towards your knees. Closest to you as well. Those are the strikes that are toughest to get and the hardest to hit.
And Goff and Ewar both didn't like what they were seeing from each other, so Goff steps out. 6, 7, 8, as we said in the order coming up. Full count payoff. Goodbye.
at the plate, number 11.
Third strikeout of the afternoon for Lincoln Ewar, and now here comes Ethan Iacono, the left fielder. One out here, bottom half of the 4th inning. Corner Canyon up 8-2. Good pitch there, strike 1. For this Corner Canyon crowd, it's probably going to be the longest last 3.5 outs they have faced all season. As Yor goes up and in there on Iacono 1-1.
We know you have those insurance runs, but we also know Mountain Ridge is capable of having an explosion of runs.
This one is hit down the line and left, going toward the corner. That's going to get up against the fence. Bounces on near the Smoke Taco logo out there and left. And Iacono gets in there with a one-out double. The first extra base hit of the afternoon for Mountain Ridge, and it couldn't come at a better time.
At the plate, number 24, Juan Gonzalez.
And here comes Juan Gonzalez, now the second baseman of the plate. He, along with Leo Bachoco, the holders of the only 2 RBIs here this afternoon for Mountain Ridge.
It's a good time to mention, too, this is the only base runner they've had since the second inning. So they went 1-2-3 in the third.
Gonzalez takes that one in the carpet. Ball 1, picked up off the shag. Runner on second, 1 out. 1 ball to count on the second baseman, Juan Gonzalez. Leo Bachoco next in the order, number 9. Foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Can Mountain Ridge find a way back into this game down by 6? 0-2. 1-2 pitch is hit on the ground. Whatever it was. 1-1 pitch is hit on the ground over to second. Throw to first in time. Advances the runner to third, but there's now 2 out. You see, it's a long day. It's been long even for the broadcasters.
Yeah, very well.
This is our 13th game we've done in the last 4 days.
I wonder how many hours that is. Close
Oh,
to
goodness.
35, right?
We might as well have been camped out here at Larry H. Miller Field here in the broadcast booth for the last couple of days. And looks like that one clipped. Leo Bachoco, the shortstop. Rippled the jersey on the way through, so HBP puts runners on the corners for the 3rd consecutive inning for the leadoff man, Stockton Folks.
I was going to say, this is the position you want to be in because now you got the top of the order coming up.
Brock Whitney in his 6th year got his 70th win at the helm of the Mountain Ridge Sentinels yesterday, or 69th win against Fremont in the run rule win, and then 70th win in the game against Corner Canyon. First pitch on the way to Folks is a good off-speed pitch in there for a strike. That was a beauty thrown. Oh, 1 pitch. Brown ball up the middle and through. That will score the run. Stop sign thrown up on Bachoco at second base. And Mountain Ridge does scratch across another one. It's 8-3.
Now hitting number 3, Jackson Reiser.
And here comes Jackson Reiser now up to the plate with 2 outs. Can the Mountain Ridge Sentinels find their way back into this ball game? They gave up 7 runs on 7 base hits in the first inning, allowed 12 batters to come to the plate. They scratched across 2 runs in the second, gave up a run in the third, and they have one back now here in the fourth. And now looking for more in this winner-take-all playoff to decide who gets Lehigh in the 6A Championship Series tomorrow night. Game 1 is tomorrow night, Game 2 Saturday afternoon, and Game 3, if necessary, Saturday night. First pitch to Reiser coming. Down and away, ball 1.
We'll go back to that hit, by the way. Stockton Folks, that RBI single, and that's what you want from the top of your lineup too, Alex. You got that hit by a pitch from Leo, and that kind of sparked at least a little bit of something in this offense.
1-0 pitch. That one hit. Reiser on the elbow. Clipped him on the way through, and here comes Jeff Yor. That's the second time that Kyle Anderson, the home plate umpire, has called that in this inning, and Yore's going to come out to challenge the call. And for the first time today, there are now runners at every base.
Now hitting the 34, Remington Edwards.
And if Remington Edwards can put this thing into the gap, oh boy, we are going to have some fireworks. And Ty, I know it's only a 5-run game, but I kept telling the viewers at home, we're far from done. This is a big moment right here for Lincoln Yore.
Well, he got the theoretical game winner against Fremont in order to force that mercy rule and make it 10-0. It was a single.
Here it is. Fly ball center field. Downing going back toward the wall. Got it. Inning over. The Sentinels leave the bases loaded. They scratch one across and nothing more. Corner Canyon still in front, 8-3. Mountain Ridge running out of chances here as we head to the top of the 5th inning now. 8-3 in favor. Alexander Timolip, Ty Wilkinson get a good look there at the bullpen of the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. Lefty warming up currently in there right now. Ty, you just had an interesting stat you wanted to throw at me just now.
I do, because right now, Garrett Downing, who's going to be at the plate here shortly, this will be his 4th at-bat coming up, and we're just in the 5th inning already because Drew Watcott, that was his 3rd at-bat to end the inning, and now here we come. This is the 4th at-bat now for the top of the order that's coming up. And you got to wonder if fatigue is just playing a factor right now into Mountain Ridge, as once again their 3rd pitcher is on the mound so far.
And their 3rd game, as we keep saying, in less than 24 hours. They played a game at 10 a.m. yesterday. That game or 11 a.m. yesterday. That game ended just before 1. And then they played a nearly 2.5 hour game at 4 o'clock yesterday. And now here they are 24 hours later playing another game at 4:30. And they were on the field, as you said, Ty, in the sun on that turf for close to 30 minutes in the top of the 1st. As that is a strike thrown right on the outer half by Karsten Funkhauser. 0-1 the count, nobody out. We're just underway here. Top of inning number 5. Just missed the corner. Ball 1.
Well, Garrett Downing 1 for 3. He had a walk, which was followed by a double and 2 RBIs in the same inning. And then he got hit by a pitch, so I know the stat says 1 for 3. It should actually be 1 for 1.
1-1 pitch. That one also misses the upper half. 2-1. Didn't catch enough of the corner.
It's just crazy to me that it's already coming up to be the 4th at-bats for this lineup, beginning with Garrett Downing.
2-1 pitch. That one is right there. Infield just about playing straight away. Outfield shaded a little bit over to the right for Garrett Downing. Here's the 2-2. Fly ball into left, going down the line toward the bullpen, and everyone's going to crash into the wall as that's going to fall into the batting cage over there, just short of the bullpen in left. 2 balls, 2 strikes against the leadoff man, Garrett Downing. Top of the order, 1, 2, and 3 to go here in the top half of the 5th inning here for Corner Canyon. 2-2 pitch. Aloha. First strikeout of the day for the third reliever out of the bullpen, Karsten Funkhauser, and here comes Ryder Florence, the shortstop. First pitch on the way, and that gets past the catcher, Austin Ellis, low and outside. Ball one. I passed all the way to the backstop right there. As the shadows start to creep up past the walk-up lines now here at Larry Miller Field. 1-0 pitch is hit on the ground on 2 hops to second. Throw to first in time, and there's 2 gone. Here in the top of the 5th.
Well, this is the early 2 outs that Mountain Ridge was looking for. I thought they would have got it in the 4th. Fortunately, they got away with no runs in that inning, but once again, 2 quick early outs. And if you're Mountain Ridge, you can think this is a good sign, so now you can get your defense to try to get off the field.
Good pitch there for a strike to the second baseman, Cash Conker. 0-1 the count, quick pitch. Up high around the eyes there, 1-1. Winner of this game advances to play Lehigh tomorrow night, starting in the 6A Championship Series in the best of 3. That one caught the corner, but just a little bit outside. 2 balls and a strike now on the second baseman, Conker. 2-1 pitch. High pop-up. Here's second. Gonzalez says, get out of my way. And that's the end of the inning. A clean inning that the Mountain Ridge Sentinels desperately needed defensively. The Chargers go Ekahi, Elua, Aloha in the top of the 5th. Now they need to get their offense going. They're running out of time. It's 8-3. Quarter Canyon in the driver's seat. Welcome back here to Larry H. Miller Field on the campus of Brigham Young. We'd like to remind you that Igloo Outfitters is proud to sponsor KSL Sports Rewind's coverage of Spring Sports Championship Week. Igloo Outfitters is offering you the chance to get 20% off your order on the coziest wearable sleeping bag around when you order from them, courtesy of the Rewind Sports Network. That's promo code REWIND, Rewind, when you go to IGLU. Outfitters.com. Igloo Outfitters, proud to be sponsors of KSL Sports Rewind and their coverage of Utah high school sports. Alexander Timolip, Ty Wilkinson here at the Cy and Betty Kimball press box here at Larry H. Miller Field. Lincoln, you are back to work, and Austin Ellis gets hit in the back of the head. And this is what we feared. The dugouts were barking at each other earlier in this game. And Ty, I know that wasn't intentional, but you have to feel that that had been coming.
I very much agree, but...
My gosh.
Wow.
That is not something you ever want to see.
That thing was easily coming about 88 miles an hour up toward the noggin. And I think it caught a part. I know we heard some helmets, so thank goodness for that, but...
It caught a lot of the helmet. In fact, it caught the back of the helmet. Brock Whitney's out there along with Corner Canyon head coach Jeff Yore.
All I can say is thank goodness for that equipment.
Yes, definitely thank goodness for that equipment. And you definitely do hope that now the funny business that was going on between these two benches earlier is now done. So we will take a break while they attend to Austin Ellis, and we'll be back on the Rewind Sports Network. Corner Canyon still up 8-3, just underway here in the bottom of the 5th.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Welcome back, everyone. We apologize for the extended delay, but they took Austin Ellis off the field with some major assistance, and a pinch runner now is at first base, Caden Honeycutt now. And Ty, if there was ever a time where the Corner Canyon Chargers did not want to poke the Mountain Ridge Sentinels, that was it. I mean, they just knocked out their captain with a hit by pitch, and now everybody on that Mountain Ridge bench, I mean, you could hear it was half concern and it was half almost anger at Lincoln Ure, the pitcher. Pitch down low, 2 balls and no strikes now.
And it becomes more than just a game, Alex, when serious situations like that happen.
Hit foul off to the right. That's into the pine tree. 2-1. So interesting to see who they're going to bring in, a catcher to replace Austin Ellis. That pitch is just a little bit off the black there. 3 balls and a strike now. Here it comes. Foul back to the screen. Full count. Two-two pitch. And once again, hack back to the screen. It's actually 2 balls and 2 strikes, not 3 and 2. Pardon my error. 2-2. Goodbye. Fourth K of the day for Lincoln Ure. Good comebacker after the HBP, and now here comes Cooper Goff. Mountain Ridge trying to find a way to fight back in this ball game. First pitch. Strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch. High fly ball, and I mean a high fly ball foul down the right field line. That's way into the Helaman Halls. 2 strikes. I think that might have actually hit something over in Helaman Halls over the front, over the side door. Might have hit the bricks.
Wouldn't be surprised if it landed on the roof.
0-2 pitch. Foul back to the screen again. And you could tell, Ty, the desperation starting to set in for these Mountain Ridge hitters. They're trying to get their barrel on anything that's close to the strike zone.
Well, fortunately, they are. The only issue is that they haven't gotten it where the barrel and the ball needs to be, which is out anywhere within that 90-degree angle facing towards center field.
Cooper Goff had a 2-out, 2-run double yesterday in the first game against Corner Canyon. Can he find a way to provide a spark for these Mountain Ridge Sentinels? That one way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes, so I guess Lincoln Ure's had enough of him fouling off pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes, now the count on Lincoln Goff. And a mistake there by Kyle Anderson, the home plate umpire. Said 2-2, it's 1-2. Now it's 2-2. Lincoln Ure's gone nearly 5 complete innings. He's gone 4 1/3 of 4 strikeouts, but looking for a couple more outs to get himself out of a little bit of a mini jam as this one sails over him. And Honeycutt's going to move into scoring position as the count goes full here on Cooper Goff, the DH. Runner in scoring position. Can Mountain Ridge find a way back into this game? Ethan Iacono stands on deck. The full count pitch. Ball 4. And here comes the staff meeting on the mound. Ethan Iacono now in, and it looks like Juan Gonzalez has been replaced by Tyler James at second base. And so here we go. This is exactly what we talked about. Brock Whitney making 5 changes to the lineup on Tuesday, or yesterday in that elimination game against Fremont. Now starting to shift around his lineup here. The 6th-year head coach trying to make some magic happen and keep their season alive for a date with Lehigh in the 6A Championship Series. First pitch on the way. Swing and a miss. 1 out, bottom half of the 5th. 3 runs, 6 hits, 4 errors unofficially here for Mountain Ridge. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for Corner Canyon. Most of them coming in that big first inning. 0-1 pitch. Good placement right at the knee, strike 2. Lincoln Yor has 2 walks, 4 strikeouts. Can he add a 5th? And get out of this jam. Or 1 out closer to getting out of this jam. Good waist pitch there up around the noggin. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
The good news is for Mountain Ridge, you're still only at 1 out. You can still make something happen. You prefer with runners in scoring position to try to do it as soon as possible.
1-2 pitch. Fouled right back to the screen. 5th pitch of the AB coming up here. Again, the winner faces Lehigh starting tomorrow night at 7 in the 6A Championship Series. The loser season is over. Both teams already have 1 loss. Corner Canyon was handed their first yesterday by Mountain Ridge. 1-2 pitch. See ya! Here comes Tyler James. As Stockton Folks and the coaches are too far out of the dugout for Kyle Anderson's liking for safety reasons. And looks like James is going to be pulled back here. Instead, Juan Gonzalez is going to be coming in after all. Interesting. So Brock Whitney had Tyler James in the on-deck circle. Looked like he was going to come in for a defensive switch and a pinch hit role, but instead, Juan Gonzalez comes back in. Interesting choice here by Brock Whitney. Looked like he was going to shuffle his lineup, but instead, he'll just be content with the 1 change to put Austin Ellis back, replace Austin Ellis at catcher. First pitch on the way. Liner down the right field line. That's going to be big time, Kid G. That's going to hop over the fence. A ground rule double. 1 run will score on the ground rule double by Juan Gonzalez. And the Sentinels do scratch across that run. And just like that, the tying run is in the hole. Actually, excuse me, the tying run. And now the tying run is on deck. As Brock Whitney comes out to Leo Bachoco for some final instructions, and we're going to have another pinch hitter. Wow, Brock Whitney really pulling out all the stops here. 2 emergency changes in the last 2 batters. How about this?
Wow. It worked for him last time, didn't it?
It'll be Tucker Norris now coming up to bat, and I assume he will also replace Leo Bachoco at shortstop. Things just got really interesting here at Larry H. Miller Field as the tying run in the person of Stockton Folks now comes up to Tucker Norris for some last-minute instructions. Tying run now on deck for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. 2 out, bottom of the 5th, 8-4. One swing of the bat, and we are in a brand new ball game. Here it comes. Strike one right at the knees. Good pitch there from Yor, who has 2 walks and 5 strikeouts to his ledger. He's gone through 4 2/3 strong. High pop-up in the air to left, down near the third baseline. And for now, the Chargers escape. But the Sentinels are getting closer as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Do not turn the dial yet, folks. We've still got a long way to go. Well, there's your new catcher into the ball game for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. It is Brody Buck that's going to take over for Austin Ellis here in a big-time spot tie. I mean, you talk about getting thrown into the fire here in the playoffs. Winner-take-all game. Your captain's gone because of a concussion or a possible concussion. Now you're asking Brody Buck to take over here in the top half of the 6th inning.
It's step-up time is what it is, Alex. You got to be a brick wall right there, right behind that plate. Let nothing get by you, especially since Corner Canyon, as well as they've done, getting base runners on. Obviously, they went 1-2-3 in the previous inning, all the way back in the 5th, which feels like so long ago. But you got to be a really, really good brick wall if you want to prevent Corner Canyon from doing any more damage than they've already done.
Brody Buck, of course, wearing the number of former Miami Marlins catcher John Buck, number 14. And he's in here in a big spot. 8 runs, 11 hits, no errors for Corner Canyon, but they have not had a base runner or a hit since the 3rd inning of play. And Mountain Ridge trying as hard as they can to stay alive here. Down 4 runs now as we head to the final 2 innings of play here in this winner-take-all playoff game. Again, the winner goes to Lehigh's side of the bracket to face them in the 6A title series starting tomorrow night as the first pitch to Nathan Horstman, the cleanup hitter, is down low, ball 1. Next pitch. That one is up high, 2-0. Juan Gonzalez remains in the game at second base. 2-0 pitch. That one doesn't catch the corner. 3-0. Leo Bachoco also remains in the game at short. 3-0 pitch. Horseman showing bunt. Pulls it back. Ball 4. And a 4-pitch walk issue by Funkhauser to start the top half of inning number 6. Andrew Nice now steps in, the first baseman. That one is in the dirt. Ball 1. Nice grounded out back in the 4th inning of the game. Runner on first here with nobody out. 1 ball, no strikes. And the pitch. And that one comes in and hits Andrew Nice. That one comes in and hits him on the foot. And home plate umpire Kyle Anderson is out. And you wonder, Ty, if that has something to do with the fact that he ran into the first baseman back in the third or fourth inning.
Well, I mean, at this point, I guess you never know, Alex. There is always a rhyme or reason for every pitch, but this one looks like had a little bit of spin on it, so maybe kind of just got out of the webbing a little bit.
Ryland Dunn now stands in. First pitch is inside, ball one. So suddenly Funkhauser can't find the zone here. 1-0 pitch. Runner thought about going. And again, 2 balls and no strikes. Just wonder if the fatigue now is becoming a factor for these Mountain Ridge Sentinels. If they're starting to finally feel the effects of 3 games in the last 36 hours, there's a strike.
It's a good pop right there, right down the center.
And a much-needed one at that, you have to say, against Ryland Dunn. Working with caution here at a good hitter's count. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody out. Here comes the pitch. And Funkhauser stepped off the mound and almost caught Nathan Horseman off the bag. Movement now, both sides of the bullpen. Righty for Corner Canyon and a lefty up in the bullpen for Mountain Ridge. 2-1 pitch. Foul. That one goes over the top of the tarp. 2 balls, 2 strikes here. 2 runners on. Not quite deuces wild because there's just nobody out. But Funkhauser can change that right here. Can he? He'll step off.
Well, this is the second time in the first couple at-bats for Ryan Dunlop that he's been pretty high in the pitch count.
That one tipped off the glove of the catcher, Brody Buck, back to the screen. 6th pitch of the AB coming up here.
He was 2 for 2, or 2 balls, 2 strikes in the first inning. Then he got that double, and then he walked on a 3-2 count later in the 4th inning.
Two pitch. That one trying to get under Chase down low and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. So Funkhauser now 1 pitch away from loading the bases. Again, there's a lefty up in the bullpen for Mountain Ridge in case he runs into a little bit of trouble. 3-2 pitch. And back to the screen. Make it pitch number 8 now coming up for Ryland Dunn here in this at-bat. Remember, Corner Canyon was able to coax a 10-pitch walk out of starter Dylan Singleton yesterday. And this time, Funkhauser wins the battle. Here comes the left field. Here comes the right fielder, Jack Munson, now to be followed by Yor, the pitcher, and then Watcott, the left fielder. Runners on first and second with 1 out here in the top half of the 6th inning, folks. If this score stays the same, we are far from done here at Larry H. Miller Field. Funkhauser having a staring contest with Horseman back at second. As this is fouled onto University Parkway. 1 strike.
Jack Munson, Alex, it's a big reason why the score is the way it is today. He got that 2 RBI double all the way back in the first. Put a real dent in the scoreboard.
0-1 pitch. Fly ball in the air center field. Riser is under it. The runner will not tag in it. Excuse me, not tag in advance. And there's quickly 2 out. So that'll bring up Lincoln Yor, the pitcher, who is currently in line for the win. He's gone 5 strong innings with 5 strikeouts and 2 walks on his ledger this afternoon. There was a right-hander warming up in the bullpen. It was the current shortstop, Ryder Florence. And so you'd have to assume then after that, Tanner Mackey will come in and take his place at short. As that pitch just a little bit too high there. 1 ball, no strikes.
When you think Alex for Funkhauser started off with a walk and then a hit by a pitch, so you already got first and second. Then that's followed by a looking strikeout and a fly out. So 2 consecutive outs here. You wonder if he can get out of it.
1-0 pitch. That one hits the carpet in front of the dirt. And bounces up to the catcher. Buck, 2 balls and no strikes. Good block there by Brody Buck. Of course, wearing the number of former Miami Marlins and Florida Marlins catcher John Buck, former Taylorsville High School graduate of old, as this one is right down Main Street for a strike. Despite being a Braves fan, Ty, I do know my NL East, especially John Buck being a Marlins catcher.
Well, there you go. You got to know your enemies.
And, of course, he's in the Wall of Fame at Taylorsville High School. Well, they're not exactly enemies, Ty. I don't know about enemies, but at least they're... I mean, I don't like the teams in the NL East. I mean, outside of the Phillies and the Mets, whom I really hate, but
well, you know what
the Marlins are okay. The Marlins are okay.
You know what they say, Alex? Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I guess that's the division rivalry aspect of it.
Well, the Phillies and the Mets especially. I mean, the Mets have the highest payroll in baseball, yet they still haven't even gotten into the playoffs for the last, 3 years. 2-2 pitch. Liner into right, coming on quickly. That's a base hit. They're going to send the runner home. And that throw hits the first base umpire. And here comes Brock Whitney sprinting out of the dugout.
Kyle Anderson trying to keep the peace in the dugout right now. He's telling him to get back.
And unfortunately, I don't think there's anything Ryan Hansen, the first base umpire, could have done with that. And here comes the crew chief, Kyle Anderson, as they'll talk with Ryan Hansen and third base umpire Preston Norton on the left. This is a veteran umpiring crew, and we've seen that earlier this year where Riverton had that happen in a game against American Fork where a base hit by Stein Mozingo ended up ricocheting off the field umpire out at second base and into right field. What ended up eliminating a routine ground ball, but you have to say, Ty, that was kind of an unfortunate break there for the Sentinels, and they have still not put up the run yet, so I assume on the basis of that, they likely could be discussing bringing the runner back to third and bringing the run off the scoreboard, which would leave the bases loaded.
Well, what they're going to conversate about right now is if he had a chance.
Which it looked like he did.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Hansen clearly made a signal like saying that told Brock Whitney my bad when the ball hit him. We're going to have to bring a rules official in here in a second to figure out what the ruling's going to be here.
Well, I guarantee what they're talking about is
if he had a chance to make a play, which I think Ryan Hansen clearly realizes that the Sentinels did.
Well, and it's Kyle Anderson.
But now you got to figure out where you put the runner.
You would think third.
You would think third. Because remember, they still haven't put the run up on the scoreboard yet. They have put the hit up on the scoreboard yet. So all we're really waiting for now is what the decision's going to be. So Ryan Hansen's going to come over to Brock Whitney, and Jeff Yor is being told to stay back by crew chief Kyle Anderson. So we're going to have to get a rules official if he's here on site, if we can get a rules official here in a second. Brock Whitney getting a talking to there from Ryan Hansen, trying to keep him calm. It's a big moment here in this game, in a 4-run game. Brock Whitney letting Ryan Hansen know what he thinks about what just happened, and Kyle Anderson trying to keep him cool. Oh, Brock Whitney, goodness gracious. Brock Whitney, goodness gracious. Oh, my goodness. And I think Brock Whitney just got ejected. Brock Whitney threw his hat down and his glasses, and I think he just got ejected.
I guess that clears what the call is then.
And they're going to say the run counts. And Brock Whitney just got ejected.
I didn't see a toss signal though, Alex, so maybe...
No, he
gone.
clearly got tossed because he's not in the dugout anymore. The umpire, Kyle Anderson, made the signal that he was gone. Wow. That's the first time we have seen that in this tournament. I mean, I could not have imagined that we had seen anything like that prior to this. So the run counts, and just an unfortunate break for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. It's now 9-4. That one is a strike. And just, Ty, this is just getting more and more
dramatic.
And more, well, I don't think dramatic, honestly, is the right word, Ty. I'm sorry to say, but this is getting more and more unfortunate now. This is just unraveling here this afternoon emotionally for both teams. You really hate to see this as there's another base hit in the left center field. Left fielder cuts it off. Runner going to go home. He will score. And that makes double digits for Coder Canyon. Two more runs have scored on an unfortunate break. Brock Whitney ejected.
At the plate, number 11, Garrett Downey.
Your heart just breaks for Mountain Ridge. And here comes the replacement coach for Brock Whitney. Because I think right now, Ty, the best thing you have to do is tell your players just to play it out and show a little pride here. That's really all you can do at this point.
Yeah, what else can you do?
My goodness gracious. What a crazy sixth inning we have had. It seemed like Mountain Ridge was going to get out of the inning. And then an unfortunate break where the throw hit Ryan Hansen. There was nothing the umpires could do about it. Another run has scored. Brock Whitney has been ejected. As we have another pitcher coming out for Mountain Ridge. We'll take a break and try to process all of this when we come back.
Number 23, McKay.
Well, welcome back to the Larry H. Miller Complex here at BYU. Alexander Timolip, Ty Wilkinson, just trying to wrap our heads around what just happened. I mean, for those that missed it, Ryan Hansen, the first base umpire, came into the field of play. He was late shifting over, and he interfered with the throw coming in from right field. And the umpires ruled that there was no chance to make the play at home plate. So the run counted. And Brock Whitney, for lack of better explanation, said a few choice words to Ryan Hansen and then was subsequently ejected. It became our first ejection of the entire tournament. And what was a very unfortunate sequence for Mountain Ridge. A one pitch is swung on and lifted high in the air behind the third base line. It'll go on to University Parkway. Well, Ty, like we said now, it's all a matter of pride now for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. They just got to play this out and just show some pride here.
It's true.
Okay, Callahan coming into pitch now, number 23 on the mound as Downing tip fouls this one back to the screen. Well, we do have UHSAA official Brandon Riley here on site to provide explanation for rules if we need it, but unfortunately he's not here in the booth with us at the broadcast box with us at this very moment. So unfortunately, we're going on the fly with what we know for sure as Callahan strikes out Downing, and that ends the inning. Brock Whitney ejected. First base coach still barking at home plate umpire and crew chief Kyle Anderson as the Mountain Ridge Sentinels now face a mountain to climb, down 10-4. Head to the bottom of the sixth.
Salt Lake Running Company is inspiring our community to move with purpose, embrace adventure, and consciously connect to their bodies. Exercise is essential, now more than ever. Take control of the chaos and make time for you. From the gym to the trail, SLRC can help you find the focus to define your finish line. Visit any of our locations along the Wasatch Front or shop online at slrc.com.
Well, Brock Whitney ejected from the game. You see one of the replacement third base coaches for Whitney at third having a word with umpire Preston Norton. As Lincoln Yor will come in to try and cap off a brilliant day. So just 83 pitches here so far for the Corner Canyon Chargers starter. And the Corner Canyon Chargers are now 6 defensive outs away from going to the championship series against Lehigh. And 6 outs away from this game coming to a conclusion. Mountain Ridge just simply playing for pride at this point in the game. As that pitch is in on the hands, ball 1.
Well, the good news is the players are still showing their love of the game. They're still on the top of the dugout, Alex. So,
and we heard them getting in a huddle down there at the bottom of the dugout earlier in the timeout, trying to get something going as Yor pours in a strike right at the knees. What an unfortunate and wild turn of events here at Larry H. Miller Field for Mountain Ridge. A cruel turn of events. One that you really can't, Ty, really can't script or really can't write in any other way because, you know,
right.
Things like that in sports unfortunately sometimes happen.
Human error is a part of the game.
I mean,
as my mom just texted, and she's watching right now.
Yeah, shout out to Mama Wilkinson watching back home. Unfortunately, that's what it is. Human error is part of the game of baseball. This is popped sky high into the air behind home plate, coming down into the first couple of rows, and the catcher, Cotterall, had a trouble tracking it through the sun into the shade and eventually dropped it. Shade starting to creep up now on the pitcher's mound and the facade of those tarp supports you can see sticking up on the top of your screen there towards second base. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. Florence picks it up. And there's one gone here in the bottom of inning number 6. 6-3 put out. The Rewind Sports Network and our coverage of the UHSAA baseball tournament continues tomorrow. Join us for a 5A, 6A championship series opener doubleheader as Maple Mountain takes on Brighton. And the winner of this game, which is increasingly likely going to be Corner Canyon, takes on Lehigh. A Game 1 doubleheader tomorrow, starting at 4 o'clock on your home for the UHSAA Championships, the Rewind Sports Network, as Jackson Reiser stands in and hacks this foul to the backstop. All 1 the count, and the pitch is up around the eyes there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Lincoln Yours had a brilliant day. 5 1/3 innings, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and allowing just 4 runs on 7 hits. 1-1 pitch, fouled off to the right and out of play.
I'm aware he is getting up there in pitch count, though, Alex. I'm pretty sure he's reaching into the 90s.
He is, but he could definitely stay in there for the 7th inning if he wants to. He will have to rest at least for a couple days, and he may not be back in time for the championship series opener as that hits Jackson Reiser up around the shoulder. And Reiser will trot on down to first base, and here come the umpires again. Kyle Anderson out of the box, telling the Mountain Ridge Corner Canyon benches, play on.
And good for him on his part for doing that to keep the peace here. That job is so
he
difficult as an umpire.
He has had some kind of a task here these last 2 innings. Credit to the umpires, led by crew chief Kyle Anderson, keeping the peace here these last 2 innings. This must be really difficult for them, especially. Remington Edwards cuts on that one and misses. As we said, unfortunately, sometimes human error is a part of the game, and that came into effect in the 6th inning with that run scoring on that unfortunate play where Ryan Hansen was hit with the throw coming from right field. Again, the umpires determined that he was not able to have a chance to make the play at the plate, though our broadcast monitor said otherwise. But they ruled that there was no chance to make the play. The run stood. Another run came across to score, and that's where we stand. 2-1 pitch. 3 balls and a strike now. Meanwhile, the 6A championship series is beginning over behind us at Gale Miller Field between Bingham and Riverton, 2 Region 2 teams. And man, talk about best 2 teams in the state, maybe. That's it right there. 3-1 pitch. Ball 4. And runners now on first and second with 1 out. At least if you're Mountain Ridge, Ty, this is the response you wanted, as it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter here. It's Brody Garrard who will come in. And here comes Jeff Yore out of the dugout. And I believe we are going to have a pitching change here on the mound. As the lights are beginning to get turned on here, sun setting here in Provo, Utah. Approaching 7 o'clock local time, Alexander Timov alongside my broadcast partner, Ty Wilkinson, here in the broadcast booth at Larry H. Miller Field. Pinch hitter will be Brody Garrard, and Lincoln Yore will indeed remain in the game here. So he's going to see this out.
For the inning, at least.
For this inning, at least, yes. There was a right-hander warming up. It was shortstop Ryder Florence in the bullpen, so as we have the pinch hitter Brody Garrard now standing in here Brody Garrard here. Big spot. Can he find some matter of pride? Can he spark some little bit of pride left in the Mountain Ridge Sentinels and potentially save their season? First pitch does not come yet from Yours. He steps off. Yours been in this spot before. Got out of 2-2-out jams and 1 bases loaded jam earlier. And Reiser really getting in his head now over at second base.
There's a couple of good back-to-back step-offs, though.
1 out, and the pitch. Popped up high to the left side. Look out, that's going in the dugout. Everybody had to run off the top step and tuck for cover as the bombing run came in from the right side. 1 strike the count against the pinch hitter Brody Garrard. Remington Edwards at first, Reiser at second. And Luke Nelson, the first baseman, stands on deck. 0-1 pitch. Did not catch the corner. Ball 1. One. Strike 2.
Got him to chase that outside pitch.
You're going for his 6th K of the day. One-two pitch. High line drive into left. Walcott makes the catch. Runners will not advance. And there are 2 gone. And up steps the first baseman, Luke Nelson.
Number 1, Luke Nelson.
Cooper Goff stands on deck. Runners remain on first and second with 2 out. Here's the pitch. Down and away, ball 1. You're trying to see this through his 6th inning of work. One-zero pitch. Tip foul. Again, the cheering behind us is coming from Gale Miller Field on the other side. The 6A Championship Series has just started. 1-1 pitch. Line foul off to the right and into the stands. And that's going to bounce up near a few of the fans up on the top row of the right field side. One and 2 the count. 2 out. Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. 1-2 pitch. Good waste there, 2-2. Just past 7 o'clock local time. And this nearly 2.5 hour battle between Corner Canyon and Mountain Ridge. Deuce is wild. Here it comes. Foul.
It's been the name of the game and the story of the game, Alex, is waiting for your pitch. Corner Canyon has done a splendid job. Mountain Ridge has had some really good opportunities as well.
Two-two pitch. High and inside. Count goes full. And now you're in trouble of loading the bases. There is nobody up, reminder, in the bullpen. But Ryder Florence, the shortstop, was warming up earlier. He is warm and ready to go if need be. Three and two. The pitch. Runners go, and they hit him. And now things are getting interesting. Kyle Anderson's out again, trying to keep the pace. That's the third time Yor has hit a batter in this ball game. As the bases are loaded now, as Jeff Yor comes out. And the ball has been taken from Lincoln Yor. We're going to have a pitching change. The bases are loaded for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels. Can they finally take advantage? We'll be back.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
So as expected, Ryder Florence takes over now in a huge spot here. Alexander Timolip and Ty Wilkinson here in the broadcast booth. Ty, if two or more runners come across the score in this inning, that is going to give the Mountain Ridge Sentinels some serious momentum here in this inning.
It really is, because this game is still far from over, and the Mountain Ridge Sentinels, as we mentioned, they're theoretically the quote-unquote home team, so they'll be able to be hitting, they'll get the last blow or the last opportunity to get more runs on the board if that be so necessary. But the only issue is now you have 2 outs, bases are loaded for the second time too tonight.
Second time tonight that they've had the bases loaded. First pitch from Ryder Florence is grounded to the right side on one hop to first. They get the runner, and that's the end of the inning. The Mountain Ridge Sentinels load the bases. They strand them all again. We head to the top half of the 7th inning. Corner Canyon still leads 10-4. At the conclusion of this game, Ty and I will be selecting our choice for the Heidemann and Associates Player of the Game. Contact them today, 801-754-4240, or contact them online at utah.law for your free consultation with them, courtesy of the Rewind Sports Network, the team that's committed to building a winning client with you in mind. Top of the 7th inning here, Mountain Ridge down 10-4. And McKay Callahan's going to get in here for the final 3 outs defensively of the afternoon. What we think is going to be the final 3 outs as Hunter Miller now will take over at catcher. Or rather, that is Hunter Miller behind the plate at catcher now, as Ryder Florence now the pitcher will lead off to begin proceedings here in the top of the 7th. Alexander Timolip and Ty Wilkinson here in this winner-take-all playoff game between Corner Canyon and Mountain Ridge. First pitch from McKay Callahan is outside, ball 1. Winner of this game gets the Lehigh Pioneers in the finals starting tomorrow night, which is looking increasingly likely to be Corner Canyon. Liner into right is snagged out there by the right fielder, Remington Edwards. And there's one gone. And Ty, you were just telling me Mountain Ridge has left 11 runners on base tonight. That really has been the difference in the ball game. They've just not been able to take advantage of their opportunities.
And 6 out of those 11 are loaded bases opportunities.
It's hard. It's so hard to win, but as this one is fouled up into the air in the right, on the line, and the first baseman Nelson makes the catch, and there's quickly 2 gone now here in the top of the 7th. So now Nathan Horstman stands as the last chance offensively, with the first baseman Andrew Nice standing on deck, and Ryland Dunn, number 9, in the hole. Pitch stays up high, 1 ball, no strikes. Just the 5th pitch of the inning thrown by McKay Callahan. A 1 pitch fouled back onto the triangular part of the screen. 1-1. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank Josh Dodge for his work on the camera all week with us here at BYU. Also like to thank Vince Francis for his help off-site this week with all of our technical management, as it were. 2-1 pitch, and it's high, 3 balls and a strike. Also want to thank, we keep harping on it, folks. We wouldn't be here without Dusty Litster, our dear friend. We're still thinking about him and his family. We've been wearing wristbands in honor of him all week long here at BYU, and some of the crew, of course, at the other games that we've been at as well. At Utah Valley, and also at America First Field and Zions Bank Stadium with Alex Napolis, Carson Lantz. By the way, Alex Napolis, my guy. 3 thrilling championship games today for that guy. Shout out to him. And, of course, Kenzie Valentine, Dane Stewart as well for their handiwork on the girls and boys lacrosse playoffs this week. But, Ty, we're about ready to wrap it up with a fun weekend, fun 2 days of baseball coming up starting tomorrow night with the 5 and 6A championships.
Well, as if it hasn't been fun already. I guess we get to add more of the excitement to now the championship series is.
Yeah, and Ty, I think just the unpredictability. Think about it. The unpredictability coming into this tournament. I mean, I don't think anybody could have thought Corner Canyon. I mean, reminder, Corner Canyon hasn't beaten Mountain Ridge all season long. They've lost all 4 meetings, and they're currently 3 outs away from beating them for the first time, as this is way high in the left. Coming on and making the sliding catch is Yacono. And Yacono drops the glove and the hat. Looked like he hurt something. But he's able to get up on his own power, get off the field, and that's the end of the inning. We'll finish that thought by Ty Wilkinson when we come back. Corner Canyon 3 outs away from going to the championship series. They lead Mountain Ridge 10-4. Well, there's the story of the game, folks, and the real big difference is the 7 spot in the top half of the first inning for the Corner Canyon Chargers, as they are 3 outs away from going to the 6A Championship Series, where they'll face the Lehigh Pioneers. It'll be Iacono, Gonzalez, and Bachoco, as the last chances for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels, as Leo Bachoco is being asked to stay behind the padded fence for safety purposes. First pitch on the way is hit in the air to deep left. Going back is the left fielder Walcott, and he's got it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Now to play number 24, Juan Gonzalez.
Here comes Gonzalez. As reality's beginning to set in here for the Sentinels, your heart breaks for them and head coach Brock Whitney. Such an amazing season. And an amazing accomplishment just to get to this position, to have a chance to advance. But they just ran into a buzzsaw this afternoon in the Corner Canyon Chargers, as that one's on the corner for strike 1. One out count, or 1 strike to count, 1 out, and the pitch. That one just a little bit too high there. Ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Juan Gonzalez, the second baseman. 2-0, 1-1 pitch. That one bounces in the dirt. It looked like that one got away from Florence up to the plate. 2-1. The pitch. And that's outside, 3 balls and a strike. The win will go to Lincoln Ure. Well deserved. 6 strong innings, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. 3-1 pitch. That one misses, ball 4. And the base runner reaches here with 1 out. Ty, you have to give credit where credit is due. The Corner Canyon Chargers, I mean, no one could have seen this coming. I mean, then putting up 8 runs on Davis, 10 runs on Fremont, and now 10 more here on Mountain Ridge.
Oh, the last seed, I should say.
The lowest seed left,
lowest
yes.
Seed in the Super Regional, at least as of that day.
I mean, and think about it. They had to beat the 7-seed Skyridge twice just to get here. They had to play a Game 3 against Skyridge. They had to play an extra game today. I mean, you think about the stuff this team has gone through just to get a chance to go to the championship series.
Right.
This is a remarkable year for Jeff Ure. Two-one pitch. Chopper foul. Count goes to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. Liner into center field. And it is going to drop in front of the center fielder, Downing. That's going to ricochet up against the fence. 1 run at least is going to score. And Bachoco slides in at third base with an RBI triple. And just maybe the Mountain Ridge Sentinels aren't done quite just yet this afternoon.
Now play for 4, Stockton House.
Here comes Stockton Folks now to the plate. Still only 1 out. Still only 1 out. Runner on third. Jackson Reiser, the center fielder, stands on deck. Remington Edwards in the hole. That pitch is up high.
It's as good as news as any, cutting the lead in half.
They've left 11 runners on base, Mountain Ridge. They've tried their hardest, but can they break through at this crucial moment? 1-0 pitch. That gets by. But Choco thought about it, but the bounce carried him right back to Cotterall. Boy, is he a lucky kid right there. Wow. Ty, if that slows down, but Choco's probably scoring.
Yep, that padded backstop really came to the benefit. And it easily could have been a 4-run game just based off of that wild pitch.
That one's a good one right there for a strike. 2-0, 2-1 now. But Choco at third with an RBI triple. Still only one out. Jackson Reiser stands on deck. Remington Edwards in the hole. The 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3 balls and a strike.
Well, here comes a big hitter's count right here, Alex. This might be the biggest at-bat on the day.
Strike 2. Good pitch. Very good placement on an off-speed pitch there by Florence. Can he get one more? 3-2 payoff. Ground ball to third. That's bobbled by the third baseman. They will not advance the runner. It doesn't matter. That'll be the first error of the day charged on Corner Canyon. And here comes Jackson Reiser. Remington Edwards on deck, and Ty Wilkinson, believe it or not, the tying run is now in the hole.
I don't believe it, Alex.
Actually, check that. Yes, the tying run is now in the hole. First pitch. Strike 1. Good pitch. Oh, 1 pitch. Misses the corner. Had to reach out for it. Ball 1. One. Runner goes. Up the middle. Base hit. 1 run scores. Reiser will be stopped. 4-run game.
Plate number 34, Remington Edwards.
Tying run on deck. Remington Edwards now on a perfectly executed hit and run. First time that the Sentinels have put up multiple runs since the bottom of the second when they scored 2. They put up single runs in the 4th and the 5th. But now they've put up 2 here in the 7th. First pitch coming from Florence. Outside again. Remington Edwards, welcome to your moment. A 2-run single. The tying run is at the plate. Ty Wilkinson, if you can believe it, the winning run is now on deck.
I have no words. Alex, a 4-run bottom of the 7th, and you want to talk about a rally. That's unbelievable.
You also heard the strains of the tomahawk chop. A taste of Truist Park in Provo, Utah. Simeon Bachoco now, the pinch runner. Brody Garrard, the tying run. The winning run, Luke Nelson on deck.
Hitting number 9, Brody Gerard.
Chargers win!
And at the final, the Corn Canyon Chargers 10, the Mountain Ridge Sentinels 8. Corn Canyon will play in the championship starting tomorrow night at 7 p.m. at UVU. We wish the very best to the Mountain Ridge Sentinels on a great season, a great playoff run. We wish them well in the offseason. Ladies and gentlemen, if you look around you and make sure you get out all your personal belongings and any trash that you might have brought in that needs to be taken to a receptacle, if you'll get it there, that would be great so we can maintain this great facility for baseball. Thanks again. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 at UVU.
L4-3. Corner Canyon advances by the skin of their teeth. We'll be back. What an ending. Mountain Ridge struck for 4 runs, but it was too late. And the Corner Canyon Chargers are going to the 6A finals to face the Lehigh Pioneers. Alexander Tumop alongside Ty Wilkinson. Just trying to put our minds around what we've just seen. I mean, it's only fitting this 6A bracket gets capped off with an L4-3 double play.
Oh, there's my sigh of relief right there, Alex. Wow.
What else can you say about this bracket? It's just been off the charts wild, one after the other. The unexpected keeps getting more unexpected. And Ty, what an ending to what a great defensive play there at the end by Corner Canyon.
It's very true, Alex. That was a great defensive effort. Obviously, shout out to Mountain Ridge for managing 4 runs to make it a really, really interesting game going into the 7th. But unfortunate for them that they were unable to close it out.
Oh, so unfortunate that Mountain Ridge, I mean, that liner held up there just long enough for the second baseman for Corner Canyon, Cash Conquer, to get over and fire and double up the runner at first. And Ty, the most unexpected thing about this is the Corner Canyon Chargers, the lowest seed remaining in the championship. They're going to face off against Lehigh, and you talk about a battle that's going to go down between those two teams. We had a Corner Canyon Chargers, Lehigh Pioneers boys basketball championship. Now we're going to get a baseball championship. What fireworks we're going to see next.
Boy, oh boy, Alex, that is going to be one heck of a championship series between those two at a different venue at UVU, at UCCU Park.
UCCU Ballpark will be the home of the championship series for both 5 and 6A. And Ty, let's put a bow on this now because this is the end of bracket play for both 5 and 6A. We now know our 4 teams that will play for the championship. Let's start first with Maple Mountain against Brighton. What's the thing that stands out to you about those two teams other than the fact that they had to at least get through a walk-off? Both teams had to walk off on their opponents last night just to get to that point.
Well, because that's 2 teams coming in with amazing amounts of momentum, Alex. The reason why we're emphasizing on fireworks is because that's pretty much what that's going to be. You have 2 fireworks coming in from the semifinals games, and now they're meeting each other. And as you mentioned before, a couple of walk-offs at the end, they bring an enormous amount of momentum into your dugout and into your team. And you got to think the momentum game can swing either way because both of them are coming off huge opportunities.
So now let's look at Corner Canyon against Lehigh. This is the 6A finals. We'll have both the 5 and 6A finals for you guys Friday, Saturday here on KSL Sports Rewind. Ty, Corner Canyon against Lehigh. What intrigues you the most about that matchup?
What intrigues me the most, Alex, is to see Lehigh still has not lost a game in this playoff. We go all the way back to Super Regional where they were 2-0 whenever they beat Layton. Then they had to beat Riverton. They beat American Fork. And then they had to beat Riverton again to get to the final. So Lehigh is still undefeated in this tournament. And Corner Canyon, Cinderella lives on. That's all I have to say. The 10 seed in the tournament blows our minds, to say the least, in this 6A tournament.
And Corner Canyon, by the way, got a strong outing from Lincoln Yore on the mound. It got a little hairy there near the end because, remember, Mountain Ridge not only brought the tying run to the plate, they had the winning run potentially to send them to the championship series on deck. But your heart breaks for Mountain Ridge. I mean, they woke up, but, in hindsight, hindsight Ty is 2020. Brock Whitney will probably kind of look back on it and wish that his offense was able to wake up a little sooner.
Well, I mean, the story of the game, Alex, at least in my opinion, was the bases loaded on the 4th inning and the bases loaded on the 6th inning. That could have easily swung either way for the Mountain Ridge Sentinels as they took it into the 7th, but only were behind by 2.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on that. Left the bases loaded twice. Congratulations to Brock Whitney and his Mountain Ridge Sentinels for playing so valiantly this afternoon. And so valiantly just to even get to this spot, Ty. I mean, it's hard enough to win 3 elimination games, let alone 4 in 3 days. But Mountain Ridge definitely is a good program, and you can guarantee they will be back next year better than ever.
They sure will. I mean, you got a young team. You got a couple of seniors that are leaving, but you have the guys that are capable of fulfilling that role.
We would like to thank Josh Dodge on the camera all week. We'd like to thank Wilson Gustafson for joining us here as a special guest this week. We know that, we would have wanted him to be here, but we want to thank him. I want to thank you, Ty Wilkinson, for being my broadcast buddy here all week at BYU. And, of course, we can't thank enough Dusty Litzter. We're thinking about him a lot, Ty. And this whole week, Ty, has been unbelievable. But now we're really set for a true championship series between 4 really good teams.
Yeah, I'm beyond stoked. I know you're thanking me for being here, but guess what? We're not done yet. We still got a few more games to go.
We still have more to go, folks. We're going to get our rest, and we're going to get ready for tomorrow. Join us again, 4 o'clock p.m., for a championship series opener doubleheader. It will be Maple Mountain and Brighton, and then it'll be Corner Canyon against Lehigh. And then game 2 and 3s, if necessary, will be on Saturday morning. Wow, what a week we've had at BYU. We want to thank all of our crew here. We want to thank Josh Dodge and my broadcast partner Ty Wilkinson. Vince Francis, of course, off-site, helping us with the technical maintenance side of things. For all of us here on KSL Sports Rewind, this has been another presentation of the UHSAA Baseball Playoffs. Again, the final score, Corner Canyon 10, Mountain Ridge 8. Corner Canyon, Cinderella lives on. They'll face Lehigh in the 6A finals. For now, folks, get your rest. We'll see you tomorrow for championship series openers. Aloha from Utah. Take good care of one another, everyone. Please watch over everyone. And please, for Dusty, please tell someone today that you love them and that you care about them and that you're there for them. Because, Dusty, we're there for you. We love you too, buddy. We're thinking about you always. Aloha from Utah, everyone, and good night.